believe it's a feeling. My arms are shaking like a lightning rod, yeah. I cannonball right through the ceiling and sink my teeth until the feeling's gone, yeah.
Hello and welcome to Mr. Peacock Square Plays of week number 8. Football against the number coming to you live, as always, from high above West Peachtree Street in Midtown Atlanta. Folks, let's talk about last week real quick. 1-3, disappointment. Texas A&M laying 31.5 points on the road at Kansas, probably a week too late getting on the fake Kansas bandwagon. Northwestern catching 2 against Iowa. Really disappointed in Northwestern's effort. I felt great about that thing and was just really surprised that Iowa handled it the way that they did. Baylor, West Virginia, I sat right here last week and told you I thought the game was going to go over 100 points. It didn't technically go over 100. It got to 100, though, and went very easily over the total of 75 points, giving us our only win of the weekend. Texas A&M catching 4 points at home against Alabama. I think the game was really closer than the 18 points final score would indicate. Unfortunately, that's the only way that they grade those wagers. So 1-3 on the weekend overall. Got to pick it back up. But the good news is we're still, by the skin of our teeth, making money on the season. But folks, we need to have a good week if we're going to be able to sit here and say that next time. Game number 1 this week, getting into week number 8 action. We're getting on the airplane and we're leaving our plush, comfortable, well-appointed Midtown Atlanta studio, and we're going to go visit an old friend. It's a friend we spent some time with. It's a friend we made some money with. It's a friend that we haven't seen in a while, and I'm looking forward to seeing him again on Saturday. Folks, I'm talking, of course, about the Bowling Green over. I like Bowling Green and Kent State playing a football game over 59 points. But Mr. Peacock, have you seen the weather forecast for Kent, Ohio on Saturday? Well, funny you ask. Actually, I have. And I will concede that there's a 90% chance of rain in Kent, Ohio on Saturday. But the other thing I will tell you, the Bowling Green Falcons will play offense in any condition. The Bowling Green Falcons are not interested in playing defense in any conditions. And even with Kent State's lack of ability to score points, this game will still go over 59. Heck, might even be a fun game to watch if you can find it. I don't know if it's on TV or not. But take Bowling Green, Kent State over 59 points. Game number 2, we're playing another total. Was this amateur hour? Yeah, look at the video quality here. Folks, we're going to the west end of Nashville, Tennessee. We're at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. local. I like the Missouri Tigers and the Vanderbilt Commodores playing a football game under an extremely low total of 35 points. I've seen both of these teams in person. Both of these are really good defenses. I'll say that, and I think that that kind of gets lost in the weeds of their offensive ineptitude because both offenses are bad. Both of the defenses are good. Neither one of them really gets the credit that they deserve, I don't think. I think that Missouri's getting there. I think that they're getting a little bit closer. They did some good things with us last week in Athens. Just couldn't finish in a game that I still think that we were pretty fortunate to win. But anyway, Vanderbilt's just kind of what they are offensively, unfortunately for them. But they're still playing some good D also. This thing has 13-6 just written all over it. And I know, like I say, I know 35 is a real low total, but we're going to go under that anyway, and we're going to count our money. And don't you two idiots even think about playing a football game to 7-7 and then going into overtime and moosing my butt. All right? Don't even think about that. You get close to overtime, you go for 2 or something. All right, let's stay out of that backdoor nonsense. Game number 3, we're going to Oxford, Mississippi. Folks, it's one of my favorite trips in the SEC, and we're getting right back on the bandwagon. I like Texas A&M catching 3 points at home against Ole Miss. Like I say, I think last week was just, that wasn't really an 18-point game that they played against Alabama. Bama had 3 non-offensive touchdowns in the thing, including one that was about 90 yards. I thought that A&M moved the ball pretty well and made some plays. They just couldn't really get out of their own way a whole lot. I think you've seen that you can score points on Ole Miss. I think to that end, I think that A&M's a bad matchup for them. This is going to be a good atmosphere in Starkville anyway, even coming off of the disappointment for Ole Miss last weekend. This is basically an elimination game in the SEC West. I hate telling you that Texas A&M's going to win the thing, but they're going to play it within 5 points, and that's what I'm looking at. So take the Texas A&M Aggies coming up from College Station, catching 5 against Ole Miss. Game number 4, we are going to Los Angeles, California for a 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time kick. between the Utah Utes and the Southern Cal Trojans. Folks, I've been to the campus of Southern Cal. It's no big deal. I like the Utah Utes catching 3.5 points. Utah is the number 2 team in the country according to Sports Reference's simple rating system. They've played a great schedule so far this year, and they've really been dominant in a number of their wins. I will point out that the Utah is 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 games away from home. They're also 4-1 straight up in their last 5 as an underdog away, as an away dog. 4-1 straight up in their last 5. Southern Cal's a very impressive 5-5 in their last 10 as a Pac-10 favorite, and only 1-2 this year. Southern Cal's coming off of an emotional game last week against Notre Dame, playing with the interim head coach. I just don't look for Southern Cal to really be able to hold this together. Southern Cal is more talented in all likelihood than Utah, but I think Utah's much better coached, and Utah's on a mission this year. Folks, Utah has that playoff in their sights, and they beat Southern Cal last year. They're not afraid of USC. Nobody in the Pac-10, I don't think anymore, is really afraid of USC anyway. But I know that Utah isn't. Utah's going to win this game straight up. I love them plus 3.5. Turning now to our mailbag. Today's letter comes to us from Ralph from Corbin, Kentucky. Ralph writes, "Do you have the number for poison control?" Well, no, Ralph, I don't. And I'll tell you this. You drank it, your time has come. So real quick, to recap, week number 8, we're getting the ball started around 1 p.m. Eastern. I like the Bowling Green Falcons and the Kent State Golden Flashes playing a football game over 59 points, because always like Bowling Green over. Game number 2, the West End of Nashville, Tennessee. I like Missouri and Vanderbilt playing a football game under 35 points. If you're having trouble sleeping in the middle of the day on Saturday, turn this game on. Game number 3, I like Texas A&M catching 5 points on the road at Oxford, Mississippi against the Rebels. And game number 4, I like the Utah Utes catching 3.5 points on the road at Southern Cal. So I wish you the best of luck. I'll be back here on Wednesday of next week in advance of the Georgia-Florida game. So we'll see you then.